Hi there everyone, and welcome to Anna-Marie Designs. I'm Anna-Marie and I'm very happy that you could be here with me. In this video tutorial I will be showing you a spider flower. Well, at least that is what I call it, but the actual element, a shape that you need to create this flower with is a fabulous Frayed Christmas Tree Die. Before I begin this tutorial, I'll show you some example on how the die looks. Right, so the actual die is what you're seeing here. You've got very fine lines going to one side, and obviously this is your main half of your tree, okay? Very simple. And what you will have is obviously this look, this die cut shape, once you've die cut your Frayed Christmas tree. This is it. So of course you can have any colors you want. Obviously this die is designed to create Christmas trees, but of course a spider flower is something extra that you can create with a fabulous die, and this is the spider flower. Now couple of examples. So this is a card that I've created using a Frayed Christmas tree with several layers to the side, just to create the dimension, as you can see. Okay. We also have our poinsettia flowers here. We've got the Christmas holly wreath going round below the poinsettia arrangement as well. And we've got holly leaves, die, and obviously several other bits and pieces. Okay, so that's how you can use it, obviously, as the die suggests. Okay, you can actually have two-sided Frayed Christmas tree, so you can build actually the whole tree, okay, on both sides, and you can actually curl your Frayed Christmas tree the direction you choose. So a little bit under, and then slightly over if you wanted to. And these are two sides, just like I mentioned. Again, on this card, you can see our Garden Bloom card collection in the background. Poinsettia, flower die, holly leaves, flower sprigs, obviously some pine cones, etc. This is a project that is three-dimensional, so you've got the Christmas holly wreath inside, and obviously other bits and pieces like the natural moss. Okay, now we have one that is super three-dimensional one. Okay, and I curled my Frayed Christmas tree into these lovely loops. Okay, so you can see we've got a less flat, more curly, more into sort of rings. Okay, so I hope you can see this clearly, and I hope you like it. Again, a poinsettia flower die, holly leaves, Christmas wreath to the side as well. And then finally, and these are just a few examples, you can see more on our website, annamariedesigns.co.uk. And this Frayed Christmas tree is actually, like I mentioned earlier, curled upwards and slightly backwards. And that gives you, okay, the extra interesting look, if that's what you are looking for. Of course, the material that I used here on this Frayed Christmas tree, it's vellum, or what you know it as parchment paper. Okay, there you go. So we've got lots of messages being sort of positioned here from our Christmas jingle card collection, and everything is sitting on a pure craft card. Right, so now you can see how the actual die looks. And now on to the actual demo to create the spider flower. So we've got this lovely, beautiful flower that I've already created. I have a slightly shorter spider flower, okay, which can be trimmed, but that's in the moment, okay? And let's begin with the simple steps of what you need and how to begin. Right, I'm actually using a hot glue gun, simply because it's super speedy. I do have a little bone folder. Okay, you can have obviously anything that actually helps you curve if that's what you want to do. And I do have a pair of tweezers. Right, so like I showed you earlier, I have different Frayed Christmas trees die cut in different card. I mean, this one, for example, is die cut in Woodland This Christmas card. Nice, beautiful and grey. Okay, we've got the green, of course, here. Green card, blue card. This one, it's actually die cut in ionized paper, ionized grey paper. So it's 120 gram paper, and obviously it's a little, as it's paper, it's obviously not as thick as card. So perhaps if you want to have a first go at this spider flower, maybe it would be easier for you to die cut using a paper. Paper is great for this kind of project because you can die cut a die using 2 layers, 2 or 3 layers, depending on how intricate they are. But this one I did die cut with 2 layers at the same time. Right, so let's just begin. And basically I'm actually going to use this pale blue paper here. And obviously when I die cut my Frayed Christmas tree, obviously the lines all the lines here are very tight. So you will find it that some of them are sticking together, but obviously they are being beautifully die cut. You just have to separate them. Now, you don't have to separate them individually, one at a time. You will find that if you take a bone folder and if you just literally loosen them, okay, that will be enough. Okay, all they need is just a little bit of movement with the bone folder and they are basically being naturally separated anyway. Okay, there you go. So all of these are now loose. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with the second layer. Now you don't have to curl them. Okay, well, that's the kind of thing that naturally happens when you separate, obviously, your Frayed Christmas tree. And it can actually save you some time towards the end, if that's what you wanted. Now, so there you go. So we are ready to go. One thing I will do, it's actually separate this little bit at the bottom of my tree. Put it to the side. That's a waste now. And I'm going to start with one of the trees, but actually I will show you how to create a double frayed spider flower using the Frayed Christmas tree die. Okay, so I'm just going to prepare it here. And in fact, okay, you can actually use just a single flower, and I will take you through each stage so you can see how busy each piece will look. Okay, then you will see how busy your flower will look with 2 pieces, and then we will add a 3rd piece using this color and the 4th piece using this panel as well. I think the blue and the grey looks lovely together. And so the tweezers are actually quite important. So we need a tool that actually is holding the straight edge of our Frayed Christmas tree. Okay, and that's that. So tweezers go just from the end into the middle, and I'm giving myself a little loop. Okay, there you go. So when I curl a couple of times, I will then add a little drop, just tiny drop of the glue gun, and follow the line. Just make sure you're keeping the line straight, and just keep curling. All right. Now you can, if you wanted to, add another drop of glue just here if you wanted to, or halfway if you like. But if you keep it tight all the way, you only need really 2 drops of glue. Right, so I stop here and tightly make sure this is all nice and tight. There you go. So this is my single single frayed spider flower. Okay, isn't this lovely? Okay, it's really rather nice. Okay, so we can trim all the spider bits, okay, shorter if that's what you want. We can actually use a Frayed Christmas tree as a sort of a little tassel, if that's what you wanted as well. But we can also carry on with a second layer, and that's what I'm going to do. I think if we do several layers, you will see that basically, you know, there is not stopping you because you could create as big, as thick spider flowers as you wish. Right, so where I've just ended with my drop of glue, I'm just going to start my second layer from that point on. And we're going to do the same thing. Now, at this point, of course, a flower or a arrangement is thicker. Okay, so this element will be thicker in your hand. So your tweezers obviously will require, okay, will require to be tighter. That's all, okay? It's not difficult, it's super easy, okay? But just make sure you keep it tight. On this second one, I am actually going to secure it now, just somewhere halfway, with a tiny drop of glue. There you go. Now the strands from the glue gun might be a little bit annoying, but that's not a problem. And now you see, I've removed my tweezers and I just carry on using just both of my hands. As easy as that. Okay, you can see how nice and beautiful this is now. So we're just going to secure it. But now, obviously, what I want to do, as I'm actually securing the end, I will also, at the same time, add my first grey part. So for that reason, I'm just going to place a little bit more of the glue. And then start like so. Okay? Keeping it as level as possible, obviously, is what I recommend. But if you go off line slightly, that's not a problem. There you go. There you go. So you see, if I wanted to pop my tweezers back in the circle, of course, I still can. And again, just like on my second layer, I'm going to add a drop of glue. There you go. And nearly coming to the end. All right. Anything that needs to be extra separated, that can be done shortly. Right, so the same principle applies. Before I will secure this end, I will begin with my next one. Just always keep it tight in your hands, right? There you go. Oops, 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 oops. There you go. Sometimes, obviously, the strands from the glue stick to your fingers, so let's just remove some of these. But no matter how annoying these strands are, hot glue gun is definitely better for this kind of project than a PVA glue. But ultimately, the choice is yours. What adhesive you're going to use, because you can use the PVA glue as well. Okay, and the same drop of glue and just there you go. So we have spider flower with 4 layers. Okay, there you go. Isn't this beautiful? So So this spider flower is now done. Look at this, okay? And now we're just going to open it. In order for us to open it, okay, what you need to do is just pop your fingers inside. This is it. And spread it. Spread. Now, can you imagine this as a beautiful Christmas decoration? Literally sitting on your Christmas tree. That's amazing. And then, you see, when you have your spider flower open, you take your bone folder again, and you could curl. Right, so just very gently put your thumb inside and just curl it backwards. As simple as that. There you go. Isn't this amazing? That's your spider flower. Beautiful. Right, so you pop a little gem inside and you are done. But before I finish this tutorial, I'm going to show you another short one. I'm going to show you obviously the trimming, because obviously you can trim it down to a little daisy flower if you like. And all of this is possible. And I'm going to show you a slightly different way of attaching your Christmas trees. Okay, there you go. So I show you the green one. Okay. So in this case, what we're doing is just attaching the Christmas tree like so. Now, isn't this a lovely shape altogether? And just like before, I'm following the line. So therefore, you can see that my Christmas tree, okay, it's a sort of funny shape. It's not a straight line. It's a skew width, okay? That is not a problem. You can still do what you intended to do. Okay, so obviously I know that I've got separate lines here. Obviously, some of them might be sticking, but like I mentioned earlier, they will be separated later on. Okay, so we begin just like with the first spider flower. Your tweezers. You grab it tightly, you start rolling. Now, because we have card here, so it's a little bit thicker, it's the 300-gram card, so I would recommend just to use the glue as soon as possible, simply because card is bouncier than paper or anything lightweight. And I'm just going to carry on. And you see, I'm coming to the middle of my frayed Christmas tree. Okay, so I want to secure it here because number one, I would do that by simply joining the second piece, but also because I am changing the direction, well, not the direction, but the angle slightly. Okay, so there you go. There you go. So what I am going to do, and I can feel in my fingers that it's heavy because it's card. Okay, just follow the line, just keep it as straight as possible. And tight. There you go. Right, so I can see, and it's the same principle. Just pop your finger inside and just loosen them up and pop them to the side. Okay, just what you need is literally creating a little room, okay? And everything is beginning to be revealed. Same thing, okay, get your bone folder and start stretching backwards. There you go. Isn't this lovely? There you go. Now, if you wanted, because obviously you've got this part here, an element where you can push your spider flower even lower, okay? So you are going to pop it in your Anna Marie Designs presentation box, okay? You just literally push it with your hand, so they're less bouncy like this one, more flat, okay? But this is literally what you are creating, spider flower, which is absolutely amazing. Now you can obviously choose any colors you want, and you can trim it, cut it down if you wanted to, and you can actually have a little composition in your vases, obviously, where you glue the actual spider flower, okay, onto your branches if you wanted to, okay, something like this. And you pop it inside of your jar, okay? And that looks actually amazing. But I mentioned earlier that I will be trimming it down. Okay, so based on this, okay, lovely. I'm not gonna go as short as this one because you can see that you could cut it as short as you want, but you can cut it shorter if you wanted to. So you can cut it randomly, or you can cut it, you see what I mean, or you can cut it before you begin, okay? So that's also a way of doing it, and let's just do one more very quickly, where I'm just trimming it. There you go. So I haven't even followed the pattern completely, okay? Literally, not even straight, not really dead straight, because it doesn't matter. We're just gonna do shorter one, and it's gonna be short, quick one. There you go. Secure it. Just roll it. There you go. So that's my single one. There you go. Don't forget, you could ink up your Frayed Christmas tree before you start rolling for your spider flower. And you've got beautiful different colored centers or ends to your flower, if that's what you desire. And these are my spider flowers. Well, this was my main one from the tutorial today. And I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know. Okay, your comments are really welcomed, and I do appreciate every subscribe and every like that you can obviously give me in a form as a feedback. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.